What's up, BookTube? Back with another weekly update. I hope y'all have had a wonderful week, a wonderful reading experience this week, and just a great week overall. I know I have personally been a little under the weather, but on the bright side, it has given me the ability and the want to read more. And in that week, I was able to finish two more books, which I can say it was just simply because I didn't feel like doing anything else. So reading was really all I had at that moment. But I'm not complaining. I'll take it. I will take it. I will take it. So, small blessings even in sickness, I guess you can say. But let's just go ahead and let's talk about the first book that I finished, Recursion by Blake Crouch. Now, this book was one that I've been wanting to read for a very long time. I was intending to read this book with Project Hail Mary because I thought those two would really be a cool mix in between. But I ended up holding Recursion off for another 2 months or so. Kind of glad I did. This book overall, I did enjoy. I did enjoy. I think overall, I would give it a 4 star. This is another book that I would recommend. A book that I really think if you really enjoy science fi and you especially enjoy time travel, you will enjoy this book. To me, I'm not personally one who enjoys time travel thrillers. And I'll tell you the reason why I don't personally enjoy time travel thrillers. And unfortunately, I experienced it in this book as well, in the fact of it just gets repetitive after a while. But before I get to the cons of this book, let's go and let's talk about some of the pros of this book. Now, overall, it is a high concept idea. It really truly is. It's an idea that has a very unique plot. It is one where one of the main POV characters, she creates because she's got a mother that's got Alzheimer's, and she creates a machine hoping to go back to a past memory where that, I don't know, I guess to cure her mother's Alzheimer's. To me, I wasn't really quite clear exactly how that was supposed to work. I know that's more on me than what it is on the author. I just, in that regard, just totally kind of forgot. But anyways, it ends up making it where that you can then travel back in time and then, change events, life-changing events. Now, of course, this works out great. It works out great, especially in the short term. But if you go back in the long term, once you hit the mark that you went back at the mark in time, you will remember your past life. And so it's causing people to kill themselves because they can't live with the memories of who they once had in the life they once had. Because think about it, people have lost siblings, children, husbands, wives. They've lost all of this, careers. And then they find themselves in this new reality where they have none of that. Or some people have more of that. Some people have used it for a better means. Some people have used it as a means of, really doing great things for their lives and for themselves. Like there's some that are like drug addicts, and some that have fallen into prison, and some who have just really made terrible mistakes in their past life, and they go back to a certain point and they're able to correct those past mistakes. So there's the pros in that, and that's a really interesting concept. Really, truly is. Overall, the plot is very fast paced. I did actually enjoy that aspect of it. I especially enjoyed Barry, one of the main POV characters. There's two POV characters in this. I especially enjoyed him because his plot to me was more personable. It was more, even though, of course, the woman, let me look up and see what her name is of this. Her name is Helena Smith. So overall, when it comes to her, her thing was to get back her mom's memories or spend more time with her. To be honest, still a little unclear on that one. But Barry's was his daughter had died when she was 15 years old, killed in a hit and run, and his marriage fell apart right afterwards. He's a detective. He goes into drinking real bad. Spends the next, I think it's 11 years of his life just absolutely and totally miserable. So overall, like, anybody who's got a parent, is a parent, can understand that's horrific experience. Anybody, I guess, who's just lived life can understand that as well, I guess. But it is just, it's a very sad story, and it starts off, to me, absolutely remarkable in that regard. Now, as far as tension and momentum is concerned, the first half of this, the tension and momentum was really, really strong and very captivating. I enjoyed it so much. The reason why I say the first half more than the second half, even though the second half was just as fast paced as the first half was the simple fact of it got a little bit repetitive, and so I stopped caring so much because, when you're dealing with time travel, you just go back in time to, change the fact. And their way of time traveling is actually unique in the regard that you have to die to go back. You basically find a memory, place that in the computer, and then you have to literally die in this machine and then go into that memory. And then it changes, of course, into another world, basically. Another reality, I guess. But overall, pacing was amazing. I did actually really enjoy that. It is, as far as a sci-fi thriller, you really can't get much better. You really can't. This would make for a great movie. It really, truly would make for a great movie. As far as the pros are concerned, they're okay. I'm not going to say that they're, some epic pros by any stretch of the imagination. They can get clunky at times, but overall, that stuff doesn't bother me like it does some people. Like, unless it's just really terrible. Now, if it gets pretty bad, I'm just kind of like, whoa, what are you doing here? Like, I don't understand what's happening. But everything to me was clear enough that I understood. And, you're talking about a really high-tech thing that's going on, and or high-tech concept, and it really was explained in a way that even I could understand. So I thought that was actually pretty good from Blake Crouch. I thought he was a pretty good author. I really, truly did. Now, that is unfortunately where the pros stop. Now, as far as characters, overall, they just feel secondary to the plot. Now, you can say that's a pro or a con, and that's perfectly fine. I can see it both ways, and in some cases, I would actually say that might not be a bad thing. But really, you could have placed anybody into this situation and still had the exact same plot. There's nothing about the specific character traits that really changed the effect of anything. And characters that were very strong at the very beginning, which were secondary characters, all of a sudden just kind of faded towards the end, and I didn't like that aspect of it. Now, as far as the emotional beats are concerned, there is one plot, and it's in Barry's, that, it's his main goal at the very beginning. And then towards the end, it's just like, he's totally forgot it. He's totally accepted it. It just blows my mind. It's a moment in time that he should be. You would think he would spend the end of time trying to correct, and instead he just about halfway through the story, he just is like, I've moved on. I'm now concerned about this other aspect of my life. that to me felt very jarring and really to a certain extent ruined Barry's character. So I did not enjoy that aspect of it. Now, as far as the logic is concerned with this, it gets repetitive, and you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Flash series, where it seemed like a cool idea to go back in time, but then when you go back in time enough, you just start changing things, and then everything just starts piling on, and then it just, you're trying to go back in time to fix a mistake of a mistake of a mistake, and it just is never ending. And that's the way sometimes this book felt. Now, overall, when it comes to, like I said, the repetition is the worst part of it. As far as the villain of this main one, I think his name was Slade. He's interesting and actually kind of scary at first, but then he drops off at the very end, or not at the very end. Basically, at the halfway point, he just like fades into the background, and you don't hear about him till the very end. And that was a bit disappointing because he actually, in a surprising way, was very menacing. Like, I mean, I would have loved it if he would carry that menacing aspect throughout the whole book, but unfortunately, he did not. So, I mean, overall, I guess that's my review of this. I feel as though it was good overall, and I really enjoyed it, but I felt like it still needed some more to it. I just felt like it just needed, it was got a little repetitive. I felt like we got to an aspect where are we going with this? Like, when is this going to be over? And I just got to the end of it where I was like, you know what? I need to start reading something else because this is just feels like an endless loop. And that's why I give this a 4-star and not a 5-star. It is a fun read. It is a read that I'd recommend, but it is also a read that really, after a while, it wears on a person's soul. It truly does, because you can only take so much repetition, and that's what this gives you. Now, as far as my next book that I read, Jonathan Stroud's The Creeping Shadow, Book 4. This was not my favorite Lockwood and Company book. That said, it wasn't a bad book, but it was definitely not my favorite. And the reason why it was not my favorite is because Lucy, the main character of this, the point of view character, is really separated from the main cast of it for just far too long. And if there's one problem that I do actually have with Jonathan Stroud's Lockwood and Company and it's been this way through 4 books, and I'm assuming it's going to be that way on the last book, of where you have the ending is it's not a lead up to an ending. It's almost kind of like they just fall into the ending of it. And I'm like, I like books where it just is slowly progressing to a certain point. I felt like every Jonathan Stroud Lockwood and Company book leads, it feels like they just fall into, this main thing that, ends up being the main plot of the book. I don't like that aspect of it, and that to me was very apparent in this one, almost a little too on the nose. Now, as far as the things that I loved about this, of course, it continues on with strong atmosphere and horror elements. Did that well, but there were aspects of it that I kind of did feel like they could have added a little bit more horror to it. As far as Lucy's narration is concerned, she's great. I like her as a character. I did not enjoy, after the 3rd book, her reasons for leaving Lockwood and Company. Spoiler. But overall, I guess it did and didn't play a role in book 4. It gave her a reason to be away from the cast, but also that was my biggest problem with that, is because this team works good together. They work so much better together than what they do apart. They don't work good apart. But as far as character tension and really the development of it is concerned, I felt like there was some character tension, but really it wasn't really explained why, and it really wasn't explained. There was I guess a sense of betrayal in some ways, but it really wasn't fleshed out in the way that it should have been, and that was kind of a problem when it comes to this. So maybe there's that. As far as some of the plot aspects of it, it did feel like there's a plot here, a plot there, and a plot there, and it just kind of felt episodic in that regard. So I didn't enjoy that aspect of it. Now, as far as the main mystery is concerned, the main mystery was, again, an accident. They just fall along. They just literally, that's how this actually goes, is they just fall into it. And to me, I didn't like that aspect of it. Also, there was one main thing about, I guess, the main ghost of this book that really was not explained. And again, a little bit of a spoiler alert. I did not understand how it was shown in the past in a specific way, but then in the future in a different way. They never explained, well, what was the past version of that specific ghost? So that part kind of ruffled me a little bit. It also ruffled me at how some of the main agency's heads kind of just changed personalities all of a sudden. And can get a little ominous a little too much, too quickly, literally in one scene, go very quickly into really villain aspects of it. So that part I did not enjoy of it. But as far as the main cast is concerned, they're the same. I enjoyed them. But as far as much as I enjoyed this book, I'd still give it a 4 stars. But it was definitely not my favorite of this. It seemed like the last 2 have not been my favorite of this. So I'm hoping the 5th and last book can change the aspect of it. Now, as far as what I am currently reading, I'm on Stranger Tides. Now, I've been looking forward to this book. This book is supposedly based off or is what a lot of Pirates of the Caribbean is based off of. It's by, I think his name is Tim Powers. It's a good book. But it's a slow read for me. It really truly is a slow read for me. Am I enjoying my time? I'm about, I would say, give or take, about halfway through it. It's fun. It really truly is fun to a certain point. It's just, like I said, it's a more old-timey kind of read, more than, I guess, the newer aspects of fantasy is, where it's boom, boom, boom. This kind of builds up to a point. I don't necessarily enjoy the character development of this, and I think that's the one thing that I am struggling with. I think the magic system of this is really amazing and really fun, really imaginative, but I feel like the characters are just really below par, and kind of the relationships that happen in this are very strange and really out of place in a lot of different ways. So that part actually kind of bothers me. But overall, I am enjoying my time with it, but this is going to be a slower read that I probably won't get done with this month. It'll probably lead into next month. Not because I don't have the time, but because I really don't. This is a book that I really can't force myself into reading too much. I've been reading about 20 pages a day in it, and to be honest, that's just enough for me on this one. But now, as far as my next one is concerned, This is one that actually kind of pisses me off. I'm not going to lie. This one actually really ticks me off. I love Red Rising. I love Red Rising. I mean, the first three books, even though my complaint with the third book is still, I feel like, incredibly valid, I still loved it. I still love the characters. And to a certain extent, I do still love the characters that I know in this. It's the other point of views that I cannot stand. I cannot stand the Ephraim and the Lyria, whatever her name is. I just don't care about that story. I truly don't. I don't care about that story. It's not interesting to me at all. And it's like, man, when I get up to it and they're like, well, hey, it's back-to-back chapters with this character, I'm just like, why? Please send me back to Lysander. Send me back to Darrow. Send me back to anybody who I recognize. But don't send me to these characters that I care nothing about. My book, this book, when it's to a character that I know, I love it. It brings me back into this world. When it's a character, one of these new characters, no. Hate it. Don't like anything about it. I think that this plot maybe can still, there's a lot of this plot that really needs to be, that should have been fixed. Should have been really, I feel like Pierce Brown should have maybe thought about it a little bit more, and maybe he would have come to a different little realization with it. I don't really like the epic fantasy aspect of it that he's trying to go for. I feel like he's missing the mark on it. So as far as my specific feelings on Iron Gold, as of right now, about 30 chapters in, it is a very up and down situation with me. I am not enjoying my time with this book overall. Now let's move on to another one that I am about to start reading, and that's Christopher Buehlman's Between Two Fires. Now, I've heard good things about this book. Some even say it's a really, really great book. Now, I've read, what was that book that I read? It was a specific book that I read by Christopher Buehlman, and I wanted to read it so bad, and I got about 50 pages into it, and I'm like, I don't understand what the characters are saying. I don't enjoy the dialogue, and the dialogue just took me out of it. And it's something about The Thief is the last name of it. It's one of his more popular books. And I did not personally enjoy that. Now, I will eventually go back to that book, but I did not personally enjoy my time with it. In fact, let me look that book up real quick. It is called The Black Tongue Thief. It is called The Black Tongue Thief. And I did not enjoy my time with that book from what little bit of time I spent with it. But I am looking forward to this one because it really does sound like it has a very interesting concept to it. Now, as far as the next book that I will be getting into, and I've already read about 20 pages into it, and I'm actually really, really fascinated with this story, and that's R. Scott Bakker. I guess that's how you say it. I don't want to say Baker. I think it's Bakker. The Darkness That Comes Before, the Prince of Nothing series. Now, this is the first book of it. This has actually really been a quick and fast read. It took me no time to get through 20 pages of it. I really am enjoying it. It's going to be a longer book. It's going to take me a while to finish it, but I am looking forward to my time in this book. But overall, guys, that is my reading experience for this week. It had its ups and downs, but I did overall enjoy Recursion and The Creeping Shadow. Time traveling books just maybe not for me. It's a me thing, guys. It's a me thing when it comes to Recursion. But anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. What has your reading experience for this week been? Have you read Recursion? Have you read The Creeping Shadow? Or any of these books that I've just mentioned when it comes to, when it comes to Between Two Fires and the darkness that comes before. If you've read those books, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you think that'll be something that I'll enjoy, or something that maybe I should just cut my losses and move on from. As always, guys, thank y'all for watching. And y'all take care.